Welcome to Savor the Story podcast, where books and snacks are life. I'm Nicole.
I'm Vanessa. And this is our official 10th episode.
Yay! Yeah, I wasn't going to say it. I was like, I can't say the numbers anymore.
Right.
So.
But for this one, for any milestones, maybe we'll make an exception.
We'll do milestones.
Yeah.
That works.
For now, maybe our next one will be 50.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
I was going to say, what? I think when we counted it out, we'd get to like 20 at the end of the year.
I think so.
Was that how we counted it out? So
yeah.
I don't get to say the episode number again until next year sometime.
Yeah. That means we have to keep going.
Okay. Well, that works for me.
Okay. Great.
So.
How are you doing today?
Good. I think I'm finally over all of my stuff. I'm like
the cough is officially
again.
Gone.
Yeah, I don't think I've actually coughed today. It's pretty great.
Great.
But yeah, it's officially, I would consider fall. We had to bring in all of our plants, our tropical plants off the deck. So now they're all in the sunroom, keeping warm. So.
I'm so excited. I think we have a couple of days that are going to be like warmer, but then it's a downward trend, and I'm excited.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's getting cool enough at night though that you have to protect the planties.
Yeah.
So especially the high tropical ones.
Yeah.
Some of them are tough. They don't care. They're like weeds. They're like, whatever, I'll grow whatever, wherever you want.
Yeah.
And some of them, like I have a fiddle leaf, and the only thing I'm allowed to do is turn it a quarter turn every month. Like every month. If I too much water, not enough water, something, it's like, I'm going to lose 300 leaves. No!
This is why I don't do plants. It's too hard. I can't deal with your finickiness.
I know. It's amazing to me that plants are harder than like children or dogs.
Right.
like you require less. I don't have to feed you every day, but here we are. I don't know.
It's ridiculous.
But yeah, but other than that, the week was pretty good. How was your week?
That was good. I feel like, it was good. We actually have quite a few things that were together.
Yeah.
This week. I don't think I really have anything that was not with you.
Yeah, I really only had, I went up to visit my sister this weekend.
True. Yeah.
So that was probably the main thing.
Yeah.
Now, I can tell you about that if you want to start backwards and work our way forward in time.
Do it. Yes.
Okay, cool. So, it wasn't really anything crazy. I went up.
Oh.
She just lives in Detroit, but it was nice because, get to do more book shopping. And then we went to a Lebanese restaurant that's in the area, and it's one of my favorite places to eat when we were living up there. And they have delicious baklava, and I ate all the baklava. You can't see the hand motions, you guys, but it's me shoving baklava into my mouth.
Into your face, yes.
Exactly. So, but yeah, so I'm going to show you something.
Okay.
Because, it might be a little awkward, so I apologize. But I went to her house, but she gave me 7 or 8 books.
Good gracious.
So on top of the books that we bought this on Friday, which we haven't talked about yet,
right?
I'm going to show you this stack of books, so give me a second.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Look at all these books.
That is not 7 or 8, Nicole.
I know, but this includes the books that I bought on Friday.
Okay.
So this
I'm going to post a screenshot of this on Instagram.
Yeah, it was I'm going to put these books down now.
Okay.
Cuz they are heavy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so usually we don't talk about what books we got during the week.
Yeah.
But I figured it was worth a show because
that is a lot.
It was a ridiculous amount of books for one week. And I didn't even plan it that way.
Right. You might need more bookshelf space.
Yes, I think it's going to take up all of this right here.
All that blank space right there. Yep.
All that blank space. So
dang it.
Oh well, let's get more bookshelves.
Whoops.
Darn.
Were all the books she gave you just ones that she had extras of, or were they ones that she's read and is now giving to you?
Yeah, the second one. She's read them all, or she doesn't want to read them.
Okay.
So,
nice.
So it was, either me or donate or sell them. So I always take the ones. She always lets me pick through the ones, and then she just, sells or donates the others.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Well, that's good.
Nice. Yeah. And I barely had to give her anything for them. So
nice. That's a positive.
Yes. So like free books almost.
And then the other place the books that we got, the books that you actually bought.
Right. Walking backwards in time here.
Yeah. We're just going to go backwards from there. We went to the, so Cincinnati had a what did they call it? Cincy book crawl. Mm-hmm. To where you have like a little passport and it tells you all the different independent bookstores to go to, and you get a stamp when you go there. We didn't hit up that many. We didn't have a whole lot of time to do that on Friday, but we did that on Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think we went to, was it four bookstores?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah. For 4 bookstores, I think we did pretty good, though. Like, neither one of us was too crazy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and we also, we got to see our friend Hannah.
Yeah.
And we got lunch.
Yes.
And I think we got coffee. Mm-hmm. So it was, like one
all
of those nice days. Right. And because it was on Friday, I didn't have to go to work.
Exactly.
So it was like a perfect.
Even better.
Yes.
Yeah. So. We went to 4 different stores, and I think I ended up with 5 books, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you bought 6.
Yes,
and Hannah bought
if you count children's books.
Oh, that's right. And Hannah bought 2.
Yes, she could only buy 2.
That's right. So, I think in total we ended up with a pretty good amount of books between the 3 of us.
Yes, I am gonna. There's one book that I bought that I am going to read this week. So
you are?
Talk about it next week. Yes.
Okay.
Because it is my favorite cozy book.
Okay.
So I'm really excited.
Can't wait. Yes. I think that's it for Cincy Book Crawl, right? Mm-hmm. So that leads us into the other thing we did together.
Yes. The punishment.
Yes, it's not a punishment. I made Nicole watch Twilight because if you listen to our bonus bites number 1, at the end of it, I asked her if she would, and she agreed, and I made her do it.
Right. But we went to your house, which has the comfiest spot for watching movies. Mm-hmm. Your downstairs is like the best viewing area.
Excellent.
And then we got dinner. We ordered mm-hmm. dinner delivered, and then we also got snacks. Mm-hmm. So, it was delicious.
Yeah,
and I ate so much food.
I did too. It was too much, but I think that before we talk about Twilight, we're not going to get too much into Twilight because we're going to talk about your feelings about the movie, in bonus bites number 2.
Oh,
yes.
Well, then I'll put my notes away.
Yeah. You can't give away too much. Right. So the snacks that we ordered was Cheesecake Factory. Duh. Mm-hmm. And because I didn't really eat other snacks this week that I can really think of, that's going to be my rating is my carrot cake. I know I've done it before, but I don't care. It was delicious, and I love it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I've never seen you order anything else from there, so.
So, my previous order that I used to get all the time was red velvet cheesecake there, but then the first time I ever tried carrot cake, I was like, well, that's what I'm ordering now.
This is it. I don't need anything else.
Nope, exactly.
Yeah, so I can't remember what I had. Oh, I think I had their caramel cheesecake, which was pretty good. And then your puppy shared my whippy cream.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Little bad puppies.
Well, and then
they were begging.
They were, but the cat. What's your other cat's name?
Smudge.
Smudge. Thank you. Yeah. Smudge is a very bad kitty. Yes. He was a sneaky little shit. Like,
he did. He was like, this is mine, right?
Right. I let him try just the littlest tiny bit, and then he was like, oh, that was pretty good. And then he walked away. And so I turned and I looked at you. And next thing I know, there's a cat with his face in my ice and my whipped cream and my cake. And I was like, what are you doing? And he
terrible.
Was like,
yes. He was like, this is mine.
He's like, I have to eat as much as I can before you pull me away.
Right. So, that's so funny.
So,
I forgot. I did have one thing that wasn't with you.
Oh.
I went to the dietitian.
Oh, good.
And
I'm excited to hear.
I want you to be very proud of me because
okay.
I gained 1.1 pound of muscles.
What? Yes.
Yeah. I was so happy. She was like, well, your weight went up. And I was like, I don't care. 1.1 of muscle. That is all I care about.
Give me the muscles.
Yeah. She was like, it's normal, blah. And I was like, I don't think you understand. I don't care about that. All I care about is the fact that I didn't see like a 0.2. No, 1.1 of muscle makes me very happy.
So are you going to try and do more bulking this month, or have you guys changed your plans?
Nope, I'm dropping. I'm ready.
You're cutting?
Yep, I started.
Cutting season?
Yeah.
You can't put cutting season in Thanksgiving and Christmas.
So I don't really eat that stuff very much. Especially Thanksgiving, I eat a very normal amount because I don't really like much Thanksgiving food. Okay. So I think I'll be okay. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's unlike you. I eat all the Thanksgiving foods, minus the turkey, but I love all food. That is Thanksgiving food.
Okay. Well, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm now officially on record saying that I'm going to try to cut. So in 3 months, we'll see where I'm at.
We'll see if you've cut. All right. Well,
yes.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're still going to have to eat a snack, though.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
You can't just be like, I had an ice cube.
No.
It was made out of lemonade.
That's right. No, it won't be ice cubes. It'll be protein shakes or something.
I want to see some fancy ass protein shakes.
All right. I'll do my best.
Like an Oreo in it or something.
Right. Because I still have to keep that up because the goal is to not lose any muscle over the next 3 months while I'm cutting. So we'll see what happens.
Yes. Well,
good luck to me. Thank you. But I think, do you have more? Do you have anything else?
No, not really.
Okay.
That was pretty much it.
Okay. Do you have, should I go first? I feel like I should go first and you'll find out why.
Okay.
Okay. I only have one book.
Vanessa.
I'm sorry. So here, listen. This is my promise. In this podcast, there will be at least one book talked about in every episode. And if it's Nicole's, it's okay.
So we only have to talk one book, and you're
least
putting
one.
it on mine. You're putting it on me.
Well, but listen, but I did one. I did one this week, so at least there was one.
All right, well, that's good because I had 0. No, I'm just joking.
No. Listen, I had plans to do more, and it just didn't happen. All right, I made it through 40% of my second book, which I'll talk about. But okay, but in lieu of the fact that of my second book, I do have an update from last week. I told you last week that I could not give the book We Used to Live Here a rating because I didn't know what the fuck happened. Right? I didn't know what was going on. So I was going to steal my sister's rating.
Oh, yes.
So we talked about it over the weekend and she felt the same way. she also didn't know what the fuck happened in that book.
Shit.
Both of us were very confused, but I am happy to report that she did give a rating, and I'm going to steal it.
Nice.
She gave it 0.5 star for being a book.
You get 0.5 star for existing. Just
for existing, for being written, you get 0.5 star.
Got a participation trophy.
Yeah. So, and it's like both of us enjoyed what we were listening to. It just literally, we don't know what was going on. So that is the rating that it gets.
So it's just like somebody talking and you guys were like, well, okay, I'll listen.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Okay. So that's my update.
Nice. That's probably, I think that's the lowest rating we've ever done in this podcast.
Which is sad.
Hitting milestones in the 10th episode.
Right. You get 0.5 star. Okay, so the book I actually did read this week is called, well, I listened to it. It was on the Everand app, and it is called The Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson. It's like a psychological thriller. It's definitely a thriller. I think you would call it a psychological thriller, but yeah, that's what it is. So this man and woman in the beginning meet in an airport, and it's a dual point of view between Ted and Lily, and well, at least for the first half of the book. And then so they meet in an airport. Ted's point of view is like current day. Mm-hmm. And in the first half of the book, Lily's point of view is like the past. So you kind of get some information on her.
Okay.
And all of her past information kind of feeds the present day. Okay. But while they are in the airport and they end up being on the same flight and they sit next to each other.
Wow.
They and after some drinks, they end up playing a game of truth with each other. And it gets crazy when Ted jokes that he'd like to kill his wife who is cheating on him. And surprisingly, Lily is all about it and offers to help.
Wow.
So
that just like accelerated to like 1,000%.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. So I'm not going to tell you who the second half's point of view is, but the second half's point of view, actually I think there's 3 parts. There's 3 parts. So the first third is Ted and Lily. The second is Lily and someone else. And the third is Lily and someone else.
Wow.
So Lily is here throughout the whole story. But it's a wild ride. I feel like I can't give too much more because I think that, like, the way the parts are kind of broken up is it's kind of spoilery to tell you what happens in those parts. So understanding what happens, like who the first story is about and kind of what leads you into it is about all the information I'm going to give. But these people are fucking crazy. I'll tell you that. Everyone in this story is just, I don't know.
Like 100% on board. It's like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, right? It's wild. And then the stories of each of them, like everybody, it's not just these two, but the other character that you have a POV from, like they're crazy. Everybody's just crazy in this book. Before I picked this book, I did not know that there's actually 3 books of this.
All to do with the same storyline?
So it follows the detective. So there's a detective that looks into all the shit that happens in this book. And so it looks like the other 2 books follow different cases, and it's just following this detective.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, so I think I might listen to them because I liked this one enough to kind of keep going. I feel like you should care more about the detective for you to like want to keep going with his story, and I don't know that I do. But maybe just enough to like want to know how the second book goes. Yeah. So
Like the story was good enough that you're comfortable starting again, but not because of the detective, the main character, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So we'll see. We'll see if I move on to the next one. If I do, it won't be like now. It'll be later.
Oh, wow, that's strange for you.
I know. So I liked the audiobook of it. I didn't have a problem with any of the narrators. The story was good. It kept me intrigued the whole time. The only thing I will say is that the narrator, and it's different narrators for each character.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the narrator for Lily, she pronounces the WH in every word. So like when like Cool Whip, when everybody says like Cool Whip or while, like she pronounces the WH in every word. So that was a little interesting.
And who?
Yes, I was trying to figure out if I would be able to like mimic it, and it's not what I'm doing is not exactly what she was doing, but I think you get the idea.
Yeah. Were you listening to it at like an accelerated speed too?
1.5. So
it was even with the speed turned on, it was still wow.
Yeah. It was interesting. But so I think I had a little bit of a hard time figuring out what I wanted to rate this one. I think I'm gonna go with 3.5 carrot cakes. Because it was good. I didn't really there was like a twist in there that I wasn't expecting. But I didn't love how it ended. So I feel like some of that kind of takes away from it as well. But yeah. So I think I'm going to go with 3.5. I would say it's good. It was only like a 10-hour listen, I think. So it's not too bad. So if I would say I would recommend it to somebody who like, if they want a shorter thriller, it's not bad. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
That's good.
So that's my one book this week.
Okay.
Unless you want to know what I started. Do you want to know the other book I started?
It's up to you.
Or do you want... Okay.
It's up to you.
I started Quicksilver. It's a fantasy. It's like big book talky one. I think I'm like 35-40% in right now. It's been on my TBR for a while, and so far I'm into it.
Nice. Is it a series?
It is, but the second book does not come out until like October of next year.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. So, but I didn't want to.
You started it.
I didn't want to wait. One, because I needed a book to read.
Okay.
I've really been wanting to read a series, but I feel like I've been overwhelmed in the weeks with reading. And so I felt like if I picked one that had like all the books out, I would feel like pressure. And so I was like,
read them all.
Yeah. And so I was like, I tried to find a book that only had one out, but there was more coming, and this happened to fit the bill. So I'm excited to talk about it next week.
I'm excited to hear about it next
Yay.
week. I read 2 books.
Yes.
So
I knew you did.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to stick to the like spooky season vibes. Mm-hmm. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Briar, Book of the Dead. It is by A.G. Slatter, and I read it as an actual physical book. So it took me longer to get through than I probably would have liked. But I think this one is considered like a gothic YA fantasy.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
So it is about a girl, and she is in a family of witches, and she is the only one of that generation out of all her cousins. She doesn't have any siblings, so out of all her cousins that doesn't have magic.
Oh, okay.
Right. So there is, out of every generation, there is always one who, with the most power, is always who they call the Briar Witch.
Okay.
And then there's always one who is like another, like they all have different jobs. Now, there is the girl who is the main character in this book, who the focus of the book is on, and she is doesn't have magic. So she's one of the only witches in like the whole history of the family to not have magic.
And it's really sad.
Yes. So because of that, exactly what you said, she has a lot of resentment towards her cousins because, she doesn't have magic. And also, they're not very nice about it.
Really?
They're kind of they're just kind of like, like, oh yeah, like they leave her out of things because like, well, you can't come to this witch ceremony because you don't have magic and, stuff like that. So she's not super happy about it at first, but she has an accident and when she comes back from wakes up from having the accident, she can see ghosts. So, right. So, she doesn't really understand what's going on at first, but then like a ghostly family member shows up and is like, hey, I realize that you could see ghosts now, and this is probably pretty crazy for you, but you're going to have a lot of ghosts coming to you being like, I need your help. So I'm going to try and help you, and I'm going to give you guidance. So while she's out doing like ghost chores, if you want to call it that, on top of her regular other chores, she's dealing with family problems and like stuff like that. She also has all these ghosts visiting her, asking for her help, and she doesn't want to tell anybody that it's happening because at first she thinks she's crazy, and then second she's like, well, I'm just going to keep it to myself until a better time comes up, because during this time there is also unrest in the village. Oh no. And so she's dealing with that. Her cousin, who is the Briar witch, is helping deal with that, and that's basically the whole story I can give without giving away spoilers.
Do they consider her now having magic that she can see ghosts?
They don't know. Oh, okay. They don't know until like closer to the end. Much later. Right. Okay. So some notes about the book, I guess. I mean, like, that's the whole story. Yeah. But some notes about the book that I found weird, and this took away from, because the book was really good. It was a great story. I really enjoyed it. But there was some parts that kind of just took away from if I was going to give it 5 stars. And that was like, one, she has a best friend, and she sees her best friend as a ghost one day. Okay. And her friend lives outside the village, really far, kind of far away, like a day's ride away by horse. And so she sees her as a ghost one day, and like, if you saw your best friend as a ghost, I feel like there would be a little bit of emotion there.
Yeah. Like some freak out, like what happened? Right. Why are you here? What's going on? Right.
So I'm not going to tell you anything about what happens in that encounter. Okay. But basically, she walks away from it just like, oh, okay, that happened, and I can't tell anybody about it because I still don't want to tell anybody I can see ghosts.
That seems like not the right decision.
Right. So she doesn't talk about it with literally anybody, even her ghost family member. So wow. I was like, if anybody could understand what's going on, there's minimal anything there. He's like, oh yeah, this is what I think. And then that's it. She doesn't agonize over it or anything like that. So I think it was more as the friendship was put in. I feel like the friendship was put in there more as just like something to reference to, is like a clue to the mystery, more than like it was her actual friend. Yeah. So
yeah. Okay.
And so this one, I actually had to go back and check after, because I was like, is this a series that I didn't know about before I started? Because I got through the whole book and I was in the last 7,500 pages. It's like 400-page book. Okay. And I was like, man, you know how you get to that point in a book and you're like, okay, this is going to be a series.
Yeah, things are not closing up.
Things are not. All of a sudden, the speed started up really, so she tried to wrap up the book in the last 100 pages, less than 100 pages. And, I was like, you could have shortened the first part of it.
Yeah.
And made it like all the same speed.
Yeah.
But no, it felt like the end was kind of rushed for what the whole book was.
And did it close out things like it's just like, oh, now this is done. like this is resolved or this is whatever, instead of like, okay. All right.
It was just
I don't like that.
Yeah. Things happen. Here's the resolution. And there's no more book. So I was like, okay. But yeah, I mean, it was a good book. Still a good book, even if it, with those things, it was just things that like, I was like, come on. Like,
okay.
Try harder.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Try harder writing your book from Nicole. So
non-author.
Yeah, non-author Nicole. But I will say, I knew who the villain was.
Oh.
Pretty, like, I mean, it wasn't a dead giveaway, but it was kind of like, as I was reading it, I was like, okay.
You guessed
I know
it.
Who this. I know who this is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like I said, I gave it like a 4 because I still really enjoyed the book. And like I said, I don't read to figure things out like that. So it was just like when I found out who it was, I was just like, okay. And when her friend died, I was just like, okay. I'll take it for what it is. And then the last 100 pages I read really quick because it was pretty good. So,
all right.
Yep, I say 4 because I didn't say what I was going to rate with earlier.
You didn't.
I'm going to say 4 baklavas.
Okay.
4 little triangles of baklava.
Okay.
So, okay. Second book.
Yes.
Is The Spellshop by Sarah Beth Durst. And I listened to this one. And I think this one's a fantasy.
Okay.
So this book, I know I brought it up last week. This is the first book that I've ever listened to on Everand.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You know, soon to be sponsor.
That's right.
So it was pretty good. I have like I said last week, the only complaint that I have with that is I wish you could
the more minute options. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. For speed. Cause I also listened to this one at 1.5 and
okay.
some of it was fine. Mm-hmm. Some of it was not fine. Yeah. So some characters were, better than others.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, cause it was, different narrators.
No, it was the same narrator.
Oh,
it's
really?
just how she was doing the voices.
Oh, so. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. So anyway, this book starts with Keela and Kaz. And I have to tell you that Kaz is my favorite character. He is adorable.
Yay.
And he is a magic sentient houseplant.
Oh, yes. I remember you talking about him.
Yes. He's I think he's a spider plant. So if you've ever seen a spider plant, they have all those little little arms. If you want to, I keep saying arms. I know plants don't have arms, but they called them arms in the book. They're like, he waved his little arms and his little leaves like arms. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
So if you picture Groot, baby Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't know. I don't know if I would consider it because Groot looks like a tree. And then this is just like a little...
He is a tree, but like if you think about him just as like a plant and not a person. Okay. And he's got little stem arms.
Yeah. But Kaz has like a bunch of arms and he propels himself around on his root ball. So like it just carries himself around and does all these. Anyways, so he's very adorable.
Okay.
He has very real plant fears. He's not strong like Groot or anything like that. So like he has, every time they go somewhere, he's like, I'll go. But are there goats? Are there any animals that may want to eat a plant? Because I'm not down. So
he can't fight them off.
Right. He knows his limitations.
He sounds adorable.
I'll just stick this one. I'll stay back here. So, but yeah, so in this, Keela and Kaz both work in the main kingdom's library where they hold all the spell books. And there is a revolution that takes place at the very beginning of the book. So the first part of the book is them escaping. They're basically just like, we have to save as many books as we can. They throw a whole bunch of books into boxes, throw them in a boat, and they leave. Well, now they're in the middle of the ocean, and they're like, well, where the heck do we go now? And she's like, well, I used to be, after much deliberation, she says this. She's like, well, I used to live on this little island in the Outer Islands region. Let's just go there because my parents may still have a house there. And we can live in that house until we figure out what to do.
Okay.
So they get to the island and they're just kind of trying to lay low, but they find that they can't because they need food. They need help. She's never done anything for herself, so she doesn't know how to do very much. So that's where she meets who I call Beefy Lauren, because Lauren has all the muscles and all the tan muscles.
Yes, well, he lives on an island.
Right, and he has to duck to get through doorways. So
damn.
I know. So he's a tall, muscular, tanned man who is also shy, mild-mannered, and just generally a nice guy.
All right.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And then
we can go with an unrealistic.
Right. So if you're really looking for, one of the perfect type of man.
Exactly.
But yeah, so like I said, she realizes when she gets there she needs to find a way to make money. So that's how she sets up her jam shop, which none of this is spoilers. Okay. So I think this is all in the description. But so basically the whole book is just her living her day-to-day life where she's trying to fit into a community and stuff like that. And it's all low key problem solving. So very, very cozy read. I will say that some of the things that she's trying to help with, the problems that the island has, she conveniently has brought all the books to help fix that.
That's right.
Out of they're like, oh, she brought 5 boxes of books and all of them contain spells that the island really needs. So I was like, oh, I could have been a more perfect person.
Is Kaz, right?
Kaz.
Is he the only plant that is he can talk and all that kind of stuff, or is it just her, or is every plant in this world?
No. So Kaz can only talk because there's a very small story part of it and they explain it, but basically Kaz can only talk because one of the librarians did a spell, an illegal spell, and gave him sentientness.
Okay. Sentience. Yes, whatever.
So gave him the ability to, sentient.
Be alive.
Dang it. Anyway, he's alive. And
great.
He, so that's how he has that ability. It's not normal in that.
Okay.
In
this
world.
world. All right.
So, yep, it's just, that's basically the whole first 75% of the book is just that. And then, at the end of the book, the last part of it was just repercussions of them leaving.
Okay.
The library come to the forefront in the last part of the book. And that was probably my least favorite part of the book because it was just meh. I just...
All right.
I was ready for it. Well, I was ready for it to be done by that point because, like I said, the book was really cozy, not much drama. But we talked about this in episode 6, and the English definition of the word twee is exactly what I would give this book.
Okay.
By the end of the book, I was like, this is too...
It's too twee, too cutesy.
Too cutesy. I can't take it anymore. So by the end of the book, I was like, no, I can't do it anymore. So because of that, I gave the book 3.5, 3.75.
Okay, that's still good.
Yeah, it was still, I mean, it was still good. Like I said, the first 75% was kind of just nice to listen to her, make friends and have small adventures and, So,
Okay. Excellent. So is that all of your book stuff?
yeah, I think so.
Okay. So I have I don't know, do we call it, I'll call it listener corner. I don't know what to call it.
We're finally getting to the point where we have listener feedback and we don't know what to do with it.
I don't know what to do. I'm so nervous.
We never expected to get this far.
So I wanted to bring it up just because we finally got some listener feedback, so I figured it's a good time to talk about it.
Okay.
And I should have just like brought up whatever, but I ended up just writing some notes down, and so you're just going to get the note version. I also they didn't say if we could use their name, so it's fine that I'm not reading it.
Right. Yeah.
So they basically said, because we were talking about like the audiobooks, like the dramatized audiobooks, they didn't have a recommendation for that, but they had one for a podcast. So it's kind of like the samesies, whatever, but it's a dramatized podcast. It's like a serialized docudrama.
Okay.
And it sounds kind of interesting. I don't know how much it's kind of mystery-ish. Okay. And I think they have a couple different ones. One of them is more paranormally.
Okay.
But it's called The Black Tapes. Is the one that's the paranormal one, but it's basically like a guy trying to debunk undebunkable paranormal. And so they said that it was really, really good. And like the dramatized part of it was actually really well done. So nice. Even though it's not an audiobook, it's kind of along the same lines of that.
Right.
So I just wanted to bring that up.
Are you gonna listen to it?
I probably will. Okay. It's easy for me to get sucked into podcasts like that. I did look it up. It looked like there's quite a bit of episodes, like it's done in seasons. So it looked like there was like at least 10 episodes or so for the Black Tapes one. Then there's another one called Tanis. But yeah, I think I might do it. Also, it was a listener feedback. So, I mean, you did it when we got a listener threat.
That's right. That was where I was going with this. Yes. I did the last one, so it's your turn to this one.
Yeah, so I'm going to listen to it, and I'll let you know. But it looks really interesting, so I will do it.
Nice.
Are you ready for our discussion question?
That wasn't our discussion question?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's a question this time.
Okay.
Guess what? It is a listener recommended question.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. I only know it because it's the only one that's handwritten.
Wow.
All the other ones were typed because we picked them beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, you did those ones. Yeah. Man, it's like we're like a real podcast in this episode.
Episode 10, man.
It's where the magic happens.
That's all it took.
That's where it starts.
Yes. All right. So our listener recommended question is, does the narrator of an audiobook affect your experience?
And the answer is yes.
100%.
That was an easy one. Thanks, listener. Bye.
Yeah, I've stopped listening to books before because of the narrator.
Oh yeah,
and also rated them much lower.
Yes,
because of the narrator.
Yeah. So, I think in Audible, can you rate the narrator now?
Mm-hmm, you can.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I'm glad they broke that up because, like you said, like when I see a book that I'm like, oh, that looks really interesting, and then I look through all of the user reviews, and it's like, or the listener reviews, and it's like, I hated the narrator. I'm like, but what about the book?
Yeah, I know it's hard. It's hard, especially when you're looking specifically for an audio book. Like when the book sounds really good to read, you're like, yeah, I want to read this, but the time is right or the whatever, so you want to listen to it, and then you see all the reviews about a bad narrator. Yeah. It's so frustrating.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to think, because I think I've, like you were saying, I think I've actually, I don't think I've DNF'd any this year because of that, but I know for a fact that last year I had like 3.
Really?
Yeah, and I can't remember, because what they were. I'd have to look that up.
Yeah.
But I know one of them was like a Navy World War II submarine book or something, where it was like a fiction book, and the narrator had to fake a Texas accent.
Oh no.
And it was terrible.
Nah, that's not great.
Yeah, I didn't like it. So I know I didn't finish that one. And the other ones I think I just didn't finish because, just normal, like, I just didn't, like, I don't like their voice or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
That's what I was just trying to look up one that I'm pretty sure it was a Frida McFadden book that I know for sure. Like, both my sister and I were like, I don't know. We ended up finishing it, but it was terrible. Like just the narration. I can't figure out which one it was. I'll have to look for it. But yeah, it's it definitely could take away some stars, which is unfortunate because if the story is really good and I don't know, how much does the author have in that, or is that like a full publishing? Yeah. Or is that just a publisher deciding who they hire for the narration? Because I feel like if I was the author, I'd want to have approval authority over who's reading it. Because if somebody can decide whether they like my book or not based on how it's read.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'd be interested to know that.
Okay. Homework.
Somebody tell me. I don't want to Google it. Somebody tell me. Who has the say in who is the narrator?
All right.
Okay, great. Thanks,
guys. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other books. Like I said, I haven't quit any books this year because of it, but I am frustrated with Audible. And I think I've mentioned this before because the Audible does those clips where you can listen to a sample before the book starts. And I've noticed a lot more recently, maybe not every single book, but a lot more recently, that they'll play just the first like 30 seconds or a minute of the book. And all of that is like, welcome to Audible. And, and then like, the whole...
like the dedication
who's not necessarily read by the same person narrating, because it might, like, maybe the dedication is read by some, like, the foreword is read by somebody else, and that's been frustrating. Like,
yeah, give me like Audible, a little snippet,
get that shit together.
Yeah, within the first chapter or something, so that you don't get spoilers, but you also get to hear the actual narration.
Yeah, if it's enough to make or break a book, you think you'd want to be more picky about it.
Yeah, who can we write? Who can we complain to?
I'll just complain when Audible becomes our sponsor.
Okay, great. Then we'll have an in.
We'll put it in our contract. Like, we would like to sponsor you. And I'll be like, once you figure out the sample issue. And there'll be a crotchety old woman waving my cane around.
I love this plan. Thank you.
All right.
You'll fix it for everyone.
You're welcome, guys.
Yes.
So everybody start listening so we can get famous, so that way I can tell Audible what's up.
That's right. Thank you.
Tell your friends. So,
because as Nicole has stated before, we are a cult. So get your friends involved. Have them join.
I prefer pyramid scheme.
Okay.
You tell 5 people who tell 5 people who
That's
tell 5
right.
people.
Okay, fair.
So,
all right.
I have one more thought.
Tell me.
I think I brought this up when I talked about Bomber Mafia and Dramatized, and I know I've brought it up before, but I really enjoy when the author narrates the book.
Oh, yeah. That's
so.
I think that's why in the beginning of me listening to audiobooks, I really only listened to like the biographies and stuff, because most of the time those like celebrity biographies read their own, which is why I really enjoyed those for a really long time. So I would agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's just something really, I don't know, maybe one, all those unpronounceable names are now pronounced and there's no fighting it.
That's
like,
right.
And then also I just, the intent is there. I feel like the intent is like sometimes like, what were they trying to go for here? And then when the narrator reads it, you're like, well, I guess that's what they were trying to go for.
Right.
Like, I guess this is it. So
I have so many narration questions. Does the narrator read the book before they do the live reading? Like, so that they understand the intent of whatever.
Oh, I see. Yes, yeah. If it's not the author,
right? Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't know why they'd make the author read their own book. Come on, Vanessa, rookie question. No, I just don't understand.
Yeah, no, a non-author narrator.
I don't know. Sometimes I think they don't.
Yeah, they just make a guess based on the way that piece is written, and then later it's like that didn't make sense at all.
Yeah, because I know, like I've said, when I've listened to the default rating or the default speed, sometimes I'm like, they talk really slow, and I'm like, are you sounding this out, or
are you trying to figure out what you're reading right now?
Are you confused about what's going to happen next? Like, right. I don't understand what's going on, and I don't like it.
Right. That's funny. Well, apparently I have a lot of narration questions. I'm going to need to do some research.
Yeah, you would assume they would want them to read it first.
Yeah. And who knows?
Yeah. It's like splicing it all together, because sometimes you can tell. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I can tell that they've spliced in, and maybe it's the next day or something.
Right. They did it on different days or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and every time I hear it, I'm like, yeah, I can tell.
I'm smart.
I can tell that this is a different day.
That's right. Is that only because now you know what it sounds like? Because we did Twilight over 3 days.
Yes. You can hear me get like progressively less sick
right.
as the podcast goes on, as the episode goes on. Yeah, yes.
That's funny. All right. Do you have more thoughts?
Not on audiobook narrators.
I have no more thoughts on anything.
Okay.
Okay. So,
but do you have thoughts on where our listeners should go to support us?
I do. I have a lot of thoughts on that. This is the only thoughts I have. You should go to Instagram at Savor the Story Pod and like our stuff and comment and give us interactions and
more listener feedback.
Yes. And in our stories on podcast release days, the discussion question will be in there. So give us your feedback there. Also, you can go to the website, savorthestorypod.com, and fill out the contact form, which somebody did. So we're going to have one of those coming soon. So, join her and be cool like her and send us one too. Send us all of your book recommendations, snack recommendations, Twilight stuff for the next couple of months. Any thoughts that you have on what we've already talked about, or things in the upcoming books that you're going to want us to cover, or anything of the Twilight movies related, because we're making Nicole watch the whole thing.
Wait a second. No.
Send us all your thoughts. Yes. And then that's it. Okay.
Yay.
Thank you. You can't argue with me now.
Yes, I can.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Get out of here. And now the podcast is all about me. As Vanessa lets her cat out, let me tell you a story. And in this story, we start with Nicole. And Nicole is a bitch. But she has magic powers. We're going to go with it. She is a crazy old witch who lives in the woods. And I'll tell you more next time she's gone.